Hi everyone, I'm Hindi from Great Paws and All, and I'm so excited to welcome Dorothy Wills Raftery to the show today. She's so amazing, and we're going to be talking about a new book that she just wrote called Wolfie, What is the Rainbow Bridge? So I read this book 3 times and I loved it. And I think it was written for kids, but I think it's fantastic for adults as well. So let me just read you a little bit about Dorothy. She's a long biography, but she's a proud mother, grandmother, and award-winning author and career photojournalist who spent 19 years in the educational sector, covering stories for grades kindergarten through 12. Since 2010, she's been writing her Five Sibes blog, which is amazing, by the way. You need to check it out. I'm going to link it. Based on the life of her own 5 Siberian Huskies, as well as information on the breed, rescues, canine health, and care tips. To date, she has authored 5 canine books, including her newest one, a Five-Stripes Tale children's book titled Wolfie, What is the Rainbow Bridge? That she co-wrote, thank you, that she co-wrote with her young grandson. The book has now
Mhm.
been listed as a recommended read by the Association for Pet Loss and Bereavement. Welcome, Dorothy. Thank you so much. I'm really excited to have this
Hi, Hindi.
conversation. Hi,
Thank
because
you
we're,
so much for having
oh,
me
I'm
on.
so thrilled. I know we've talked before on other podcasts. We've talked about dementia and seizures and everything else. But
Mhm.
today we're going to talk about how to help kids deal with pet loss. I mean,
Right.
mostly we talk about how adults do, but I think we neglect to talk about kids. So we'll jump
Right.
right into it. And
Okay.
I'm going to first ask you, it's not an original question, but what inspired you to write a book about helping children specifically cope with pet loss?
Well, Hindi, I always love the special bond that exists between pets and children, and my own grandchildren are my inspiration, and also my huskies, my 5 Sibes, and going through the loss of my own huskies and trying to figure out how to explain each one of our beloved pets passing to my own very young grandchildren. Kind of sparked the idea. And when Wolfie was our last dog of the 5 Sibes pack, he and my grandson really, really bonded. And Wolfie was already a senior dog at this point. And through their sweet interactions, and along with a special appearance of a beautiful rainbow after a heavy rain, the book idea was born.
And it's fantastic. And I love that your grandson participated in it. I think that has
Yeah,
even more meaning to it. So,
sure does.
what are some of the signs that a child may be struggling more than they're actually letting on?
Well, every child is different, as we know, and I'm not a professional expert on child psychology, but as a parent, a grandparent, and as you mentioned, an educational photojournalist, combined with how I came to understand how children think and how smart they are, the type of questions they ask, and just how much of an answer we need to give them. That is what helped me understand age appropriate responses. So, from my own experience, a child may be sad. Uh, he or she could cry a lot. They may become unusually quiet or withdrawn. They could have nightmares or act out, while they're trying to sort through their grief. Um, they may ask where their pet is, if their pet is hurting or sick anymore. Will they ever see their pet again? These are all questions that my grandson and I discussed and are covered in the book.
So, how do you think that parents and caregivers can talk about death and loss in a healthy age appropriate way, which is probably
Right.
the most important thing to mention?
It is. I really want to reiterate that is so true. The age appropriateness really is key. And again, I just want to note that the things that I'm sharing are through my own experiences. Each child is different, and the parents or caregivers know their child best. That said, basically, what we did was we first explained that pets that earn their fur angel wings and go to the rainbow bridge if they are very old, very sick, or so injured that a vet can't help them. um, and once there, they're no longer in pain. Then, when each of our dogs were nearing his or her time, we retold the concept of the Rainbow Bridge and read the poem to the children. We also discussed, which I feel is important, the difference in age for dogs and humans, explaining that while a dog is, say, 8 or 10 or 13, which sounds young to children because that is young for humans, but for dogs, their lifespans are much shorter and they are considered senior dogs at that age. That is not the same as a child being 8, 10, or 13. I use the concept that 1 year of a dog's life is basically equal to 7 of our years to help explain it. So a dog who is 13, it would be similar to a human being 91. I think that really helps children understand aging of a dog and not be afraid because they're relating it to what they understand age is.
You know what? That's so brilliant. I actually never thought of that because we know what a 12-year-old dog, we know what it means. Or 8 years old in like giant breeds, that could be quite considered to be quite old. And if you tell
Right,
a kid, well, he was 8, and it's like, hang on a minute, I'm 8 next year. So
exactly.
absolutely brilliant. I never even thought about that. I love that.
Yeah, thank you. I think a lot of that stemmed from speaking to my own grandchildren.
Right.
They were younger, but again, that is a fear that they would have, and we don't
Absolutely.
want them to have that fear. So it's very important for them to understand that age difference for
That's
the
fantastic.
dogs age very quickly.
Genius, honestly. So what are some it is
Okay,
what are
I'm
some
blushing.
it's the heat. Um,
Okay.
what are some meaningful rituals or activities that families can do together to help their
Mhm.
children heal? Because I know when we talk about adults, which is really what I always talk about when it comes to pet
Right.
loss, and I'm sure a lot of them are transferable to kids, but it's like,
Mhm.
planting a tree and writing in your journal. So it's probably not that much different, just adapted to suit the age.
Right. Yeah, I would say we have to be open and aware and understanding what the child is going through. If losing a beloved pet, and we talked about this before we went on air, it's so painful for us as adults and heartbreaking. Can you even imagine what it must be like for a child? And then I'm sure there's confusion in there as well. Children really take their cues from their parents, their siblings, their grandparents, their caregivers. So, of course, letting your children talk about the pet, how they feel about the pet no longer being here. Children also express a lot through drawing. So, let them draw pictures and share fond memories. And maybe, depending on their age, do what we did. And that was we found a favorite spot in the backyard and I put a memory stone there, and it's kind of like our own special thinking spot. It's a memorial place where they can go and even say hello to their pet if they're out in the yard playing and they go by, and which is what mine do, and they'll be like, "Hi, send us a cloud or some snow." But it kind of gives them a special place so that they can deal with the grief in a healthy way.
It's a really good idea to have a dedicated spot for them to go to. Very good idea. So, are there things parents should avoid saying or doing when a child is grieving? I know that some people, and I hope I'm not taking away your answer, but I know some people say, um, "Oh, he's sleeping," which is like the worst thing to say because then
Mhm.
kids could be afraid to go to sleep then.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what do you
I
think
share
they
I
should
share the
avoid?
same feeling.
Yeah.
Excuse me. We avoided talking about technical aspects of a dog passing on or about burials or cremation.
Okay.
Nothing dark, nothing heavy. We didn't discuss those type of things. And you know what? The children didn't ask. So we focused on, remember when you and Wolfie did such and such? And whenever they want to, we'll pull out the phone or the albums and we look through photos and videos and share a few giggles at the fun times. Sometimes I think we adults tend to maybe over explain. I always say stick to the simplest form of the truth that parents feel is age appropriate for their own children.
Right. And one last question. Sorry, if I go back for 1 second, I've also heard people say, well, they went away or they ran away or
Okay, and again, it's my own personal feelings, but if you tell a child a pet ran away, that's a whole other different side of grieving, and they're going to be constantly looking for that pet, no
right.
matter where you go. If you're in the car, if they're out on bikes, if they're hiking, it just kind of never really closes that door for them.
I agree.
Um, when we told them that, okay, Wolfie was alive when we wrote the book. When it was his time, it was, well, Wolfie is, a very old dog now, and he's not well, and it's not something a vet can fix. So eventually he may be going to the Rainbow Bridge. Oh, what's the Rainbow Bridge? Which we talk a lot in the book about.
Yeah.
And we kind of make it so the dog is not coming back in a healthy, age appropriate way, again, as we said, because every child at a different age is at a different level, and their parents would know what best they can hear and how they would interpret it. But I think we just have to always put ourselves in the child's place and understand what our words are going to mean to them. And I just wouldn't, I don't say, hey, he's sleeping, he's lost. Because again, the sleeping, as we talked about, even age,
Yeah.
that is frightening. But of course I don't say, oh, the pet died, or,
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
or how, or anything
Yeah.
like that. You try to do it in a peaceful, light way, but let them know that that pet's not coming back physically.
Yeah, absolutely. So my last question is, so what's, I don't even want to say what's one message because I think the book is amazing and there's more than one message to take from it, but what would you like parents and kids to take away from your book?
Well, first, I really hope it's a book that parents will sit down and read with their children. I really think that's important, so that they can have these discussions, these very important discussions. But I do want to first say the dog does not die in the book. I know that's very important to parents and to readers, and even when we watch movies, it's like, does the dog die?
Oh, if there's a
The dog
dog, I'm not watching it because you know the dog always
exactly.
dies in the movie. It does, always does.
Always does. But the dog does not die in the movie.
Okay.
In the movie. Anybody wants to make a movie out of the book? I'm
Oh
willing.
yeah, let's put it out there. Other than this movie,
But
of course.
yeah, but the dog does not die in the book.
Good
Wolfie,
point.
as I said earlier, was still with us. So the book is light and upbeat and as positive as it can be when discussing this type of topic. And it's precious because it really is a conversation between a boy and his dog. And in the book, Wolfie speaks. So they have this interaction and the conversation between the two of them. And there are some beautiful, poignant moments in the book that my grandson contributed his thoughts and understanding of things to me while I was writing it. Plus, and I just want to give people a little sneak peek, I consider it an interaction, and this is just two of the sections. There's a discussion page and also a draw your pet page.
Yeah, those are
So
great.
thanks. And my intention for this at the end of the book was so parents and guardians can review with their child, not just the story in the book, but the children are going to have questions. They're going to be relating it to their own pet. And then there's the special spot where the kids can draw their pet. And then the book can then become a keepsake. Um, all that said, I have to tell you, I asked my grandson to answer this question of what message he would like the book to
Oh,
offer. And he said to me, and I so agree, that it is his hope that it will help other children not be too sad about their beloved pet, know that it is normal and fine to be sad and missing them, and that it's okay to talk about the pet, miss the pet, talk to the pet, maybe at their memory spot, and remember their happy times spent together. Out of the mouth of babes, right, Hindi? I couldn't sum it up any better than he did.
oh, I love that. You should type that up. I can put it in the video description or something. Or
Okay, I will
I
send that
think
to
that's,
you.
yeah, because coming straight from him,
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And
Yeah.
bring lots of Kleenex when you read this book. And it's
Aw.
true, it's talking about pet loss, but it's not. I cried my way through every single time I read the book.
Oh,
I cried hysterically. That's why I think it's good for adults because we don't cope that well either. Um,
no.
bring
I
lots of,
mean, it's,
yeah,
I
no,
mean, honestly, losing a pet is
we know,
devastating.
we
It's
know,
devastating,
we know.
you know,
Remember, Ed, we
and
know
I'm, yeah, it's
that.
very universal. And I want to point out that this basically right here, the concept was from a real photo that I use the word artified. And that was the rainbow the rainbow, my grandson and my dog that
Oh, right.
inspired this
And
book.
you did all the illustrations in the book too.
I did. They're photo illustrations, but yes, I did.
It's really fantastic. So if you
Thank
or
you.
someone you know is helping a child through grief, you need to read this book. Absolutely. It really is.
Thank you.
And like I keep saying, as an adult, I find it very helpful. And it's just written in such a nice way. And like you mentioned, nobody dies in the book, and
Mhm.
it's not a sad book. And I honestly think it will help kids of all ages. So thank you so much for
I
coming on.
hope so. I really hope so.
And thank you for writing the book because, like I said earlier, we tend to focus on, I mean, look, I have that Facebook group and there's so much pet loss, and we're all trying to figure out how to handle it ourselves. I think
Right.
helping the kids is like maybe it's even an afterthought. I can't speak for anybody, but it doesn't seem to be much of a focus, and I think it's really important. So
I
thank
do too. And I do hope that even I always can picture it not only with families, but also maybe in a veterinarian office. So when families come
you.
in
Yes.
and, they light the candle, maybe this is a book they can have the families sit down and read. Before they leave, that might help with them grieving there. It also would be great for therapy dog handlers when they go into schools and talk to maybe the teacher or the adult there, or the parent would say, hey, we just lost our cat, our dog, our bird, our bunny. And maybe this is something that they would give an okay to have this book read with a therapy dog. I kind of hope that that helps people.
Well, I get your marketing team on that because that's a really,
That would be me, myself, and I.
I'll help you. I'll
Oh,
help
thank
you.
you.
We'll talk
Thank
about it
you.
after. That's a great
Okay.
idea, actually. That's really fantastic idea because we know we leave the vet's office in pieces, and that's kind of see you later.
Exactly. We all
Brilliant
know how that
idea.
feels. Or how it feels when you go in there and you see that candle lit on the veterinarian
My
counter
vet
and you're
doesn't do,
like,
they don't do that here.
oh, okay. They do here so that when you walk in, you're a
People
little more
know.
respectful because
No,
somebody is going
no,
through something.
no.
Um,
They don't do that
well,
here.
the book, they can have a book there
They can
then,
have the
and they
book.
can
We're
give
going to
you
work
the
on
book.
that.
Yeah.
The link will be in the description for you to all buy the book. Anyway, thank you so much for Dorothy. I'm
Thank
so
you for having
excited that we
me.
got
I
to
really
see.
appreciate it.
And yes, watch this video. It is going to be published in just a few days. And I'm really excited to get the word out there and help so many others because, that's our mission, isn't it? Just to educate and help and support. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Dorothy. And we'll see you in the next
Thank
video.
you, everybody. Thank you, Hindi.
Bye.
Bye.